panel discussion. This topic is something that I've been talking about with my colleagues for quite a long time. And it's especially relevant today because there has been a rapid pace at which we, the ordinary, normal consumers, are being exposed to the capabilities of emerging technology, right? Even a couple of months back, nobody was talking about AI, Chat GPT, but and Bard and all these kinds of software. But we've already seen the impact that these things are having today, right? Millions have tried these products out already, in the limited time they came out. Uh, in this context, I think there are some very important ethical questions which become important to all of us to find answers to. What are we scared of? What are some of the instances that the panelists feel need spells out the need for this conversation that we are having right now?
So in each of these technology, what is really happening is all of these emerging or critical technology that we talk about. So it's not only the technology themselves itself, but the kind of protocol, kind of services, kind of standard or architectural arrangement, and more importantly, cloud, which is making it available for everybody to use them basically, right? So there is a democratization in terms of use of technology. And when this technology you are consuming and you are building products on top of it, basically, so those products could potentially create a problem, basically. There are a lot discussed in the context of the data is definitely one important part, data use of data. But there are many other areas that basically which will be important going forward needs to be discussed from the ethical use of technology or for that matter, responsible use of a technology.
On the other hand, we have this probably not the first time something like this has happened. Like, you could imagine when printing press came along or when television came along or internet came along, things revolutionized society. And there were a lot of issues which presumably, were dangerous, exposing people to dangerous situations, a lot of potential for irresponsible technology. And maybe now the scale is probably bigger. I don't know, so maybe things have to be done a little more carefully. So that's one aspect of it. Another is, the way something slightly different about digital, maybe, right? So we talk about this potential of a digital Armageddon, like everything is plugged in and somebody somewhere might be able to control a whole lot. It will be potentially instantaneous, irreversible, before you get around to pull the plug, or it may not be easy to pull the plug, things could get out of hand.
You're also seeing like the surface area of attack is now increasing. Now you see like almost everything is digital. You have all the documents are digital and the number of files which enter into an organization is huge. Now, how do you make sure like your enterprise is not getting attacked, and how are you confident that an aims like of attack does not happen in your organization? Or what type of steps you take? How much do you take? How much is enough? So these are all the scary parts which we are trying to figure out.
One of the things that I wanted to understand is, does the industry take the proactive step in being responsible around it, or should governments proactively move in, set the baseline, and then let the industry take it on from there?
Trying to be responsible within the companies and who are building technology, but whether the intent will translate to effective action, we don't know. I think nobody can predict that for sure. Going back to a question of who should be regulating, I think it, at the very least, have to be both industry and government. So, for instance, when all these recent laws are put out, there's a call for comments, and academia should participate in trying to give feedback to the government.
The responsibility is on both sides. Industry cannot do it on its own, neither than can the government. It has to be a better collaboration. So we have to go into a proactive approach rather than being a reactive approach. Like the one thing which I found with crypto was like everyone was having a reactive approach. It started growing up and then people started putting fields in place, but that doesn't effectively work. We have to take a proactive approach where we when the technology is evolving itself, we have a proper security in place. Any technology which is being newly developed has to have a proper technology with to integrate a security point of view, where you need to understand like any technology, anything can be used as a weapon of attack.
The discussion of the responsibility or trying to bring ethics has very multiple dimensions for that, right? And those dimensions are right from how you drive larger public good out of the technology implementation happening to the other side, how you democratize the use of technology. The UPI is a great example of that. Whereas what we need now is very evidence-driven policy discussions, right? So one part is that this is very complex web, and you need quite a good kind of a minds and mathematical research basically mind to understand things how they will be panning out, and then use that to formulate some of the public policy decision, which I believe to certain extent happening, but it should have happened at a larger, bigger extent, and that's why that's this collaboration between technology company on one hand, industry body, we can play that role to bring all of these people together, and also academia researchers taking more interest in public policy discussions actually.